All right, so you know that clip making the rounds online, right?
So I did nothing wrong.
Yeah. With Elon Musk, like, staring right at you saying it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely saw that.
It's pretty bold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of like he's challenging anyone to say otherwise.
Yeah, you almost want to argue with them right there through the screen.
Totally. So that's exactly what we're going to do today.
On Deep Dive Cuttlefish.
That's right.
We're going deep on this one.
We're not just looking at that soundbite.
No way.
But like the whole context of this thing.
Right, because like you've probably seen the headlines and maybe even the full interview.
Yeah, for sure.
But we want to cut through all that noise, and figure out what's really going on.
Yeah, get to the truth of it all.
So like think of this as your cheat sheet to understanding this whole Musk situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's rewind a bit back to early 2025.
Okay.
Trump, makes Elon Musk the head of this brand new department.
The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE for short.
Yeah, DOGE, like the meme.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Which, now that I think about it, might have been a hint about how this was all going to go.
Yeah, maybe.
But anyways, the whole point of this DOGE thing was to slash the federal budget, like, big time.
Major cuts.
And Musk, being Musk, he didn't exactly hold back.
Well, no, she went all in.
Tons of layoffs,
Yeah.
entire programs just gone.
Gone just like that.
Even funding for medical research got hit hard.
Wow. Yeah, so you gotta understand, these were like huge changes.
Yeah.
And the public did not take it quietly.
Definitely not.
Like all the reports from back then show just a ton of anger.
Protests everywhere.
Yeah, people were really upset.
And there was even some vandalism at Tesla facilities.
Oh, right. Like people taking their anger out on Tesla directly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's never good.
So now jump forward to that viral video.
Okay.
It was during an interview on Fox News with Sean Hannity.
Ah, with Hannity, okay.
Yeah, mid-March 2025. And that's when he drops the "I did nothing wrong" line.
Okay. But it wasn't just that one line.
Oh, no. There was a lot more to it.
Like, what else did he say? Well, he basically said he was shocked by all the hatred and violence he was getting.
From who, though?
He specifically blamed the left.
Oh, so he was framing it as like a political attack.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
And he claimed there were attacks on Tesla properties, like arson and even shootings.
Wow, hold on. Arson and shootings?
That's what he said.
Was that ever confirmed, though?
I don't think so. But it definitely added to that whole victim narrative he was building.
Right, right.
And he kept saying Tesla's a peaceful company that's never done anything harmful.
Okay, so he's painting himself and Tesla as the good guys here.
Yeah, and he's basically saying the only reason people are mad is because he's cleaning up the government.
Getting rid of all the fraud and waste.
Exactly.
But if that's true, why all the anger?
That's a great question, and it's where things get really interesting because the public's response to all this was pretty intense.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing pictures of those protests.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Like, people were
Like-
showing up at Tesla showrooms across the globe.
Yeah, what were some of those signs they had?
Oh, man. There were some good ones, like, "We need clean air, not another billionaire."
Oh, wow.
That one really captures the whole vibe, right?
Totally, like this wasn't some elected official making these changes.
Right, it was just Musk.
Appointed by Trump.
Yeah, and people were not happy about that.
And it wasn't just peaceful protests either.
Oh, no. Like, remember that Tesla service center in Vegas?
What happened?
Someone firebombed it.
Whoa, seriously?
Yeah, the FBI even investigated it as a possible act of domestic terrorism.
Damn, that's a huge escalation.
Yeah, it shows just how intense things were getting.
Wow. And what about online? Was it just as heated?
Oh, yeah, if not more.
Like, what were people saying?
All kinds of stuff. People were mocking Musk's claims of being a victim.
Like, how so?
Well, on X, there was this one comment that called it North Korea-level propaganda.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty harsh.
And someone else joked about waiting for his mom to come defend him again.
Right, like she's defended him online before?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of poking fun at that.
Oh.
And even journalists got in on it.
Really? Like what they say?
Well, one CNN guy asked if the whole interview was just an attempt to make Musk a saint.
Uh-huh. Wow.
And a Washington Post reporter suggested Tesla should be paying for Fox News' ads.
Oh, implying that Musk was getting favorable coverage in exchange for something.
Yeah, basically.
That's pretty cynical, but I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Right. And it wasn't just random people on Twitter either.
Oh, no.
Ross Gerber, that big Tesla investor,
Yeah.
he actually called for Musk to step down as CEO.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, he said the company was in absolute crisis because of all this political stuff.
So this was having real financial consequences for Tesla.
Oh, yeah,
And
absolutely.
this is coming from someone who's literally invested in Tesla's success.
Right, exactly.
So it's not just like some random internet hate mob.
Nope, this was serious stuff.
So looking at all this, it seems like the general feeling was that Musk was out of touch.
Yeah, like people saw him as this out-of-touch billionaire playing the victim.
Yeah, which doesn't really fly when you're the one making these massive changes.
Right, it comes across as pretty toned down.
Exactly. So the big question is, was this all just a misunderstanding, or was there something more to this outrage?
Yeah, because Musk is presenting this whole thing as like he's some kind of hero fighting corruption, but the public reaction is telling a completely different story.
Right. It seems like there's a huge disconnect there.
Totally. So we got to ask, was the public just misinformed, or was there actually a legitimate reason for all this anger?
Okay, so let's get into that because from what we found, the public's reaction wasn't based on lies or anything.
Right, there were real concerns about what Musk was doing at DOGE.
Yeah, like even he admitted to firing thousands of federal employees and cutting entire programs.
Not just any programs, right?
No, some of these were described as essential life-saving programs.
Yeah, essential stuff.
Like the cuts to medical research funding, that was a big one.
Yeah, that had a lot of people worried about the future of healthcare and scientific progress.
Right, and it's not just about public opinion either.
Oh yeah, the courts got involved too, right?
Yeah, federal judges actually ruled that Musk's mass layoffs were illegal.
Whoa! Illegal.
Yeah, straight up illegal. And the government had to rehire almost 25,000 workers.
So much for I did nothing wrong.
Exactly. Like, this wasn't just bad optics. This was breaking the law.
And there's more.
Right.
Oh yeah, the money part.
The savings he was bragging about.
Right, like they claimed $115 billion in savings.
But independent analyses could only verify about 12.6 billion.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah, like where'd the rest of that money go?
It raises some serious questions about how honest they were being.
Exactly. And it makes that whole cleaning up the government thing seem a lot less heroic.
For sure, so it's not just about the policies themselves, but also the whole ideology behind them.
Right, like Musk's cozying up to certain far-right figures and ideas really rub people the wrong way.
Oh yeah, like that whole thing with the AfD in Germany. Oh man, yeah, he endorsed them on X.
Which, for those who don't know, is a far-right nationalist party.
Yeah, pretty extreme stuff.
And this caused a ton of backlash, especially in Europe.
Yeah, it definitely didn't help his image over there.
So it seems like all these different things were starting to add up in the public's mind.
Like endorsing a controversial political party.
Yeah, and then there's the incident at the Trump rally.
Oh yeah, that hand gesture.
Yeah, the one a lot of people saw as a Nazi salute.
Yeah. Regardless of what he meant by it or how he tried to explain it away, the fact that it was so widely interpreted that way is really troubling.
Definitely, it raised a lot of concerns about normalizing extremist symbols.
And it made people question his judgment even more.
Right, like whether he intended it or not, it had a real impact.
Exactly. And we can't forget about the environmental and labor issues either.
Oh yeah, those are huge.
Here's this guy who's all about electric cars and clean energy.
But then he's working with an administration that's seen as anti-environment.
Exactly. It just doesn't add up.
Yeah, it seems pretty hypocritical to a lot of people.
And then there's the whole anti-union thing at Tesla.
Oh yeah, he's been criticized for that for years.
And then he goes and fires all these government workers.
It just doesn't look good from a labor rights perspective.
No, not at all.
So basically, the backlash against Musk wasn't just about one thing.
Right, it was this whole combination of factors.
His policies, his ideology, his associations.
All of it contributed to this widespread anger.
So when he says, I did nothing wrong, how can he possibly believe that?
Yeah, looking at all this evidence, it seems pretty clear that a lot of things went wrong.
Absolutely. Like, let's start with those illegal firings.
Okay.
The courts ruled they were unlawful, point blank.
So, wrong, in this case, isn't just an opinion, it's a legal fact.
Exactly. And then there's the whole issue of transparency with those supposed savings.
Right, like something doesn't add up there.
It casts doubt on his whole narrative.
And we got to talk about the impact of his policies.
Oh yeah, he keeps saying they were productive and not harmful.
But how can you say that when you're cutting funding for things like medical research and environmental protection?
Right, those have real consequences for people's lives.
And the public's anger shows that they felt that harm directly.
And honestly, his own words and actions probably made things worse.
Oh yeah, he definitely poured fuel on the fire a few times.
Yeah, like if he had just acknowledged some of the negative impacts or maybe even apologized for some of his missteps, things might have gone differently.
Maybe. But instead, he just doubled down.
And attacked anyone who disagreed with him.
Yeah, he painted everyone as either good or bad, with no room for nuance.
Which just shuts down any possibility of meaningful dialogue.
And it makes him look even more out of touch.
So even setting aside all the political stuff, we got to talk about Tesla.
Oh, yeah, the company itself took a big hit.
Huge. Their market value plummeted.
Investors were not happy.
Like Ross Gerber said, Musk was putting his own political agenda ahead of the company's interests.
And that's a breach of his duty as CEO.
Exactly. He's supposed to be looking out for Tesla's shareholders, not using his position to push his own ideology.
Right, and that brings us to another big issue.
What's that?
Musk's complete refusal to accept any blame.
Oh, yeah. He never admitted to making any mistake.
Nope. Anyone who criticized him was automatically labeled as bad or fraudulent.
Which, again, shuts down any possibility of learning or growth.
Exactly. And it shows a lack of accountability.
Because even the best leaders make mistakes.
Right, and owning up to them is a sign of strength, not weakness.
It shows that you're willing to listen and learn and do better.
But Musk just wasn't willing to do that.
Which ultimately made the backlash even worse.
So, yeah, when you look at all this evidence, Musk's claim of doing nothing wrong just doesn't hold up.
Not even a little bit.
We've seen clear examples of illegal actions, policies with negative consequences, ethical concerns, and potential harm to his own company.
It's a pretty damning picture.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question.
Oh.
If doing nothing wrong doesn't apply here, then what does it mean for someone with this much power and influence?
Yeah, that's a good question.
And how do we hold leaders accountable when their actions affect so many people?
It's something we all need to think about.
Because this isn't just about Elon Musk.
Right. It's about the bigger picture.
It's about the responsibilities of leadership and the importance of public trust.
So we encourage you to keep digging into these issues, do your own research, and come to your own conclusions.
Because understanding these things is crucial for a healthy democracy.
That's right, folks. Stay informed and stay engaged.
And we'll see you next time on Deep Dive Cuttlefish.